No matter what I do, I cannot escape God. It doesn't matter how fast I run, how high I climb, or how far I swim. God always finds me. And he always finds me when I least expect it, when it's most inconvenient for me, and when I desperately need it. See, whenever I first envisioned moving from my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Chicago, I saw this opportunity as a great chance to explore, adventure, live out this heroic drama. I looked at this city and I was mesmerized by the lights, the activity, the hustle and bustle. And I said, this is where I'm going to make my mark. This is where I'm going to stamp my name in the history books. Me, me, me. I'm going to be great. I'm going to satisfy my ego. I'm going to conquer the town. I'm going to sleep with all the girls. I'm going to go to all the cocktail parties. I'm going to be the top dog of the Chi. And God looked into my head. He saw my visions. He felt the emotions welling up within me. He listened to my inner monologue. And he said, okay, let's move. Let's give you everything you need. Let's make the move as comfortable as possible. Let's make it so that you have no doubts, no worries, no fears, no anxieties. And let's see what you can do. Let's see how much you really want all that you're envisioning. How bad do you really want to live out this great drama? How badly do you really want to satisfy your ego? How much are you really aligned with this vision of you conquering this city that you've only been to twice? See, what God does so well is he takes what we want, and instead of casting it in the trash bin, he alters it. He molds it. He shapes it like clay. He shapes us like clay because we are the manifestations of our thoughts, of the visions in our head, of our feelings. That's what we are. We are clay figurines that we want to put into the cast iron. We want to crystallize. We want to make it hard. But God doesn't want to make it hard. God doesn't want to finish us. He wants to mold us and shape us as he sees fit. Because while we're doing all of this work, envisioning how great we're going to be, the creative projects we're going to embark upon, the adventures we're going to partake in, how amazing we're going to be in the eyes of other human beings, our fellow man, God is subtly working, altering the clay that we are. And in my case, he took the visions in my head, the thoughts in my head, the feelings in my body, and he said, great, this is exactly what I need. Because you're not going to go to Chicago and do any of that. No, you're going to go to Chicago and you're going to think you're going to do that. And you're going to try, and you're going to have some fun. But fundamentally, you're going to be left with this bad taste in your mouth. This taste where you feel like you should be doing more. This lingering thought, this lingering presence within you saying, Nate, you're supposed to be here for something greater, for something grander. You're not in Chicago to live this hedonic life. You're not in Chicago to inflate your own ego. You're not in Chicago to be this superstar, to be this big shot celebrity, to be this mysterious man that everybody talks about but nobody can get a grasp on. No, you're not meant to do any of those things. You're meant to come here and you're meant to face the things that you were unwilling to face and unable to face in Pittsburgh. See, back home, when I was driving Lyft and Uber full time, I was regimented to the T. My days were structured beyond belief. Every single day, I would wake up around 10:30, 11. I'd do my chest puzzles. I'd get my caffeine. I'd go to the gym. I'd lift or run or do both. Perhaps I'd lift and then play basketball. Then I'd come back. I'd eat. I'd watch a chess video. I'd work on some content stuff, or I'd just get right out on the road. And then once I got out on the road, my day was over. I'd work until I came home and I went to bed. Whenever I was in the car, I would listen to audiobooks. I would listen to YouTube. I would take notes. I would learn. I would write songs. That was my day, every single day, for 2.5 years. And it was very beneficial because it taught me how to truly discipline my life, how to truly take accountability for where I was financially, where I was physically, where I was in terms of my education, in terms of my understanding. It taught me a lot. It taught me how to deal with boredom, how to be patient, how to work relentlessly and tirelessly to get somewhere that I would only get 6 months down the line, or 12 months down the line, or in my case, 2.5 years. But what it didn't allow me to do is face the things I needed to face. And the funniest part about my disciplined life is that though it gave me so many benefits, it also came with so many negatives. The negatives being that I was able to shut out God. I figured I didn't need him. It's not that I didn't disbelieve in him. I believed in him my whole life. I've known he exists for quite some time as well. Yes, I've disbelieved in him for periods. I've completely discarded the idea of God existing for stretches of my life whenever I was younger, 18, 19, 20. But I've known he exists for quite some time. But knowing that he exists and living with him in you are two very different things. Just because you know God exists doesn't mean you're living through God. Doesn't mean you're living the way that God wants you to live. Doesn't mean that you care one bit for the fact that you know he's real. You could say God is real. You could express it with all the vehemence you want, like I'm doing right now. But that doesn't mean anything. What means something is if you're living through God, is if you're living as if every single act, every single creation, every single thought and expression, smile and frown, tear of joy or sadness is for him and him alone. That's living through God. That's more than just knowing. That's more than just intellectualizing. That's more than just stating, I believe in God. God is real. He is my Redeemer. He is the one who gives me grace. It's easy to say that. It's difficult to live with him. It's difficult to live through him. And what's most difficult is to do it day in and day out over the course, not of months, but years and decades. That is a life that is difficult. And it's a life I can't say I've lived. There have been periods in my life where I've lived through God. And funny enough, those have been the best periods of my life. And even though I gained so many tangible benefits in this world from living a disciplined life in Pittsburgh, from isolating myself from the world by and large, from honing my craft, from getting my money right, from building my body, from educating myself in many fields, philosophy, psychology, human nature, geopolitics, finance, economics, investing. It didn't give me what I needed. And in fact, it made it harder for me to connect to God because I felt like I had it all figured out. I was making money. I was feeling good about myself physically. I was getting smarter. I was getting better at what I did. Who needs God? I'm doing it all, right? Wrong. Because here I am in Chicago with things as uncertain as ever, and I'm living through them again because there's no other way to live life. Humility is the answer. And I have been humbled in moving here. Humbled because I thought I would move here and things would be smooth. Things have not been smooth. They've been rough, very rough, like the waves on Lake Michigan. But they've been rough in all the right ways. I've had to face my fear of going broke, my fear of being called a failure, my fear of not being important, my fear of not being loved, my fear of not being cared for, my fear of death, my fear of everything that life has to offer. And it's been the best thing for me. Because only through those fears, only through those anxieties, only by recognizing that they exist, not pushing them under the rug, not denying them, but only by seeing them on your plate, can you then push the plate to God and say, please, clear my plate. Take it away from me. Take them away from me. Don't let me forget them. Don't exonerate me from the cowardice that I showed. But take them away. Help me eat them. Help me integrate them. Help me make them part of who I am in a positive way so that I can then share that with others. Take me to the underworld so that I can rise again. That's what I'm here for. And I'm excited to see where it goes because I've been a tough nut to crack. And I think God finally did it here. With that, I say God bless. Have a great evening. It's the New Da Vinci.